Eliminate the 3 dangers in retirement. In this episode, I'm going to address the 4 pillars to not outliving your money in retirement. Get ready. You're going to learn some things that maybe you didn't even know existed before as far as empowering yourself so you don't outlive your money. So my name's Doug Andrew, and I've helped people optimize their financial assets, minimize taxes, and prepare and save for a comfortable retirement now for more than 47 years. My favorite vehicle to help people not outlive their money and earn predictable rates of return is what I call the laser fund. Now, I've been very blessed and honored to have written several best-selling books. One in 2007 became a New York Times and Wall Street Journal #1 bestseller the second week it was released. It was called Last Chance Millionaire. But in all of my books, one of my favorite vehicles that allows people to be able to eliminate the dangers of taxes and inflation and market volatility on their hard-earned money, the money they've socked away for retirement, is what I call the laser fund, and it's based upon 4 pillars. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about the 4 pillars that I put actually on the front of this book. This is book number 11. It's been flying off of the warehouse shelves because people are interested in empowering themselves. And this is not about selling you a book. I'm going to gift you a free copy of this 300-page book, but we're going to talk about liquidity, safety, rate of return, and tax benefits, these 4 pillars, and why so many traditional investments where people have money in IRAs or 401ks do not pass these tests. These pillars are like a scale, a bar graph on a scale of 1 to 10. And the reason why I like the laser fund is because it scores in all 4 of these extremely high, dwarfing where most Americans have their money in IRAs and 401ks, usually invested in the market. So as we proceed, get ready. I want to gift you a copy of this book, so stay with me. So as a financial strategist and helping people prepare for a comfortable retirement and not outlive their money, I've discovered that most Americans who do outlive their money, it's because of 3 big dangers that they run out of money before they run out. They outlive their money. Those big dangers are number 1, taxes, and taxes are going to continue to go up because of irresponsible government spending. And of course, the printing of money causes the second danger, which is inflation, which cuts the purchasing power of our dollars in half about every 7 to 10 years. Also, we have continued market volatility, which causes people to not be able to create predictable income or cash flow in retirement. Most Americans who have their money in tax-deferred IRAs or 401ks invested in the market, those financial institutions usually only recommend 4% payouts. That's called the 4% rule in the financial services industry, because Dalbar, who studies investor behavior, says most Americans only earn about 3.5%. If they just left their money alone, they'd probably average more like 9% before tax and net about 6% after tax. Why are Americans only actually really earning 3.5%? Because they're buying and selling at the wrong times. They watch the economy when it starts to go down, down, down. They finally say, sell, enough already, when the market drops 30 or 40%, which it's done many times. And then when the economy turns around and starts going back up again, the market goes up here, and they wait, and then they finally buy high, they sell low. They're only averaging 3.5% because they're trying to time the market. They get emotionally involved with what's going on in the market. So that's market volatility. Those are the 3 big dangers. And 4%, golly, that's pretty pathetic. That means $1 million would only generate about $40,000 a year of gross income in retirement. Golly, do you save $1 million to have a measly $40,000 a year? But hold on, it's not all your money. Even in a 25% bracket, you would have to pay $10,000 in tax. So you pull out $40,000, pay $10,000 in tax, and you net $30,000. You're only netting 3%, and that doesn't even subtract the fees that most asset managers would charge you on that $1 million nest egg. That's usually another 1% or $10,000 a year. So unfortunately, many people are only netting about 2%. Golly, there is a better way. We've helped many, many people quadruple their cash flow to 8% net tax-free out of my favorite vehicle, which I call the Laser Fund, which is the title of the book that I want to gift you. So if this is intriguing you, and you can think of somebody that ought to watch this episode, be sure and share, post a comment, click like, subscribe to this channel, Three Dimensional Wealth. Why? Because I post an in-depth answer to a financial question almost on a daily basis. I don't want you to miss out. But stay with me, because this 300-page book is my 11th book, called The Laser Fund, How to Diversify and Create the Foundation for a Tax-Free Retirement. And I would love to gift you a copy of this book. When you go to laserfund.com, and I'll show you that at the end, you contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. I'll cover the rest of that cost, and I'll pay for the book. It's actually 2 books in one. This side, the white side, is 14 chapters, about 200 pages, that has all kinds of charts and graphs and explanations. But if you learn more by stories and examples, you're a right brain thinker, you flip the book over, you read this side, 12 chapters, 100 pages that contain all kinds of client stories and examples of how you can use the Laser Fund, sort of like a financial Swiss Army knife, a dream solution for retirement, emergency funds, college funding for children, real estate management, business working capital, on and on and on, because of the features this has. So the 4 pillars of any prudent investment are on the front cover of the book, and they stand for liquidity, safety, rate of return, and tax benefits. Why? Because if you have money trapped in IRAs and 401ks, I can show you, when you read this book, how to convert, how to roll your money out of IRAs or 401ks. Get the taxes over and done with sooner than later. You're not saving tax by continuing to postpone and delay the inevitable. That's called procrastinate. And you convert to tax-free vehicles, which is the Laser Fund. You link your returns to the things that inflate. I don't like inflation any more than you do, but it doesn't hurt me. When inflation is at 5, I've usually earned at least 5% higher, 10 or 10.5. When inflation was at 10 back in the 1980s, I was earning 15.5%. You want to link your returns to the things that inflate, so it helps you instead of hinders you. And then, because I use indexing with my Laser Fund, I'm able to participate when the economy, when the market goes up, but not lose when the market goes down, because your money is not at risk in the market. So the pillars usually spell laser, hence the title of the book. Number 1 pillar of a prudent investment is liquidity, the ability to access your money when you need it. So the first bar graph, when you read this book, talks about how many investments are not liquid enough when you need the money. You cannot access it without penalties from the IRS, or you have to wait for the right timing in the market. It's not liquid. If it's an IRA or 401k and you dip into it before age 59 and a half, there's a 10% penalty. These are the critical components of liquidity. That's number 1. A lot of people put it as number 3 or 4. That's number 1. Number 2 is safety of principal. That means that anytime I set aside money, I don't want to jeopardize or lose what I've set aside, but I have even a deeper definition. Any year that I make money, I want that to become newly protected principal. I don't want to ever lose in future years money that I've made in previous years. So many times, people who have their money in the market, they make money during a period and then they lose money. It's like playing red light, green light when you're a kid. You progress 20 steps and then you take 10, 15 steps back and forth, back and forth. No, I only want to progress. Some years I may not make very much, but I don't lose. I want to be able to participate and have safety of principle. And number 3, I want a predictable rate of return. So every investment can be scored on a scale of 1 to 10. When you have a rate of return that historically has beaten inflation, it's going to be an average of 7 to 10%, but some years I've earned 21%. I've earned sometimes many clients with the laser fund, like from February of the year 2020 because of the COVID-19 pandemic to February of 2021, locked in gains of 61.33% using the laser fund. Tax-free, because you can earn great rates of return and participate in the market when it's doing well, but not lose when it goes down. The last pillar here, this is tax benefits. Now, I prefer tax-free. Tax-deferred doesn't cut it, because if you accumulate $1 million in an IRA or 401k, that's not all your money. When you start to access the money, if you needed $75,000 a year, you're going to pay probably $25,000 in taxes and only net $50,000. Because of inflation, that $50,000 will only buy what $25,000 bought 7 years earlier, because the cost of living is going to double about every 7 to 10 years at the rate that the government is spending money and printing money compared to what they bring in revenue. If you don't understand these basic economics, you could be left in the dust. So if this is intriguing you, I would strongly recommend you study and learn what you can do to protect yourself from the negative impact of taxes, inflation, and market volatility by seizing the opportunity to reposition underperforming or non-performing assets, money in your IRAs and 401ks. Get it out of those and get the taxes over and done with sooner than later, because future taxes will likely be higher. What are you waiting for? And then you want to link your returns to the things that inflate so that inflation doesn't hurt you, it helps you. And then you want to protect yourself in retirement so that when the markets whipsaw and we have volatility, you don't lose during those time periods, and you can create predictable rates of return tax-free. Every $1 million can generate $80,000, $100,000 a year of tax-free cash flow without depleting principal based upon historical rates of return. So go to laserfund.com, click below, and you contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. I'll cover the rest of that, and I'll pay for the book. It's 300 pages, and it will help you understand how to diversify and create the foundation for a tax-free retirement. And you'll notice that the laser fund is my favorite vehicle because it scores on all 4 of these pillars: liquidity, safety, rate of return, and tax benefits, between 33 to 35 out of a possible 40 points. Most IRAs and 401ks invested in mutual funds in the market only score between 18 to 22%. Most annuities only score between 18 to 22 out of a possible 40. This knocks the socks off of all other investment vehicles for retirement, and you can read and learn why. There's also options there if you like to listen and learn or watch and learn, but I want to gift you a copy of this. These are flying off the shelf, and I don't want you to miss out. Go to laserfund.com.